Hello, Alan. It's a pleasure that we get to get together. I want to let you know that I don't know if there's anything on our end that we can do to help you, but I will tell you what we do, the areas that we do work in, such as increasing cash flow, decreasing debt, and reducing taxes. We actually specialize in long-term income and how that could possibly shave potentially years off your retirement date. So I want you to sit back and relax because there's nothing to buy and it's purely informational. Okay? I'd like to tell a little bio of myself. I was United States military for 12 years, and during this time I spent a year in Iraq, and when I came back doing aviation work, I had a nice little chunk of change in my pocket, and as a 23-year-old kid compared to a 32-year-old man now, I learned that I made a lot of mistakes back then, and it's actually what inspired me to do what I do now. And I've been doing this profession for a little over 2.5 years, and I'm pretty good at it. So the company I represent and work for is Federal Financial Group, and we're a nationwide company, and we represent several financial institutions and insurance companies that have been around for hundreds of years with hundreds of billions of dollars in asset. And what we do is that we sit down and we teach people how money works, and more importantly, how it works better for you. So we have one goal in mind, okay? And this goal is to ensure that you become financially independent. So when I say financially independent or financially secure, what does that mean to you? Okay, yeah, that's right. It's how the interest that you put away, in time, develops and builds to a point where it can substantially replace your current job or career that you do, and this allows you to work because you want to, but not because you have to, right? Okay, and before we get into that, because we want to all know how to get there the soonest, right? We have to understand that there are some problems, okay? So have incomes risen over the past, 10, 15 years? Yeah. But has the cost of living associated with that risen more, right? Look at housing, right? Look at milk, for God's sake, These things have outpaced what most people have been making, right? And this potentially leads to a problem with, with some poor saving habits. And what I'm getting to is, I love to share this fact from the consensus of the government is 100 people right now who turn 65. How many do you think will be able to have a monthly income of $3,000 a month to the day they die? Well, the number is actually 3 to 5, right? So, what are the other 95 people doing? What are they doing? Yeah, that's right. Huh? They're receiving help from the government. They are helping their family and charity. And you kind of already said it, right? They're working, right? We see them every day as your Walmart greeters, right? It kills me to say the other day I was at Wendy's, and ever since I was a kid, I used to love going to Wendy's, and I still kind of do, 5-piece chicken nuggets, dipping that into my sweet and sour sauce. Perfect, right? But I'm getting there, and I'm sitting down, catching a breather from the day, and I look over to my left, and there's this old lady. She's probably 72 to 75 range around there. And, she looked exhausted. She looked like she was tired. I mean, she was standing hunched over, wiping some table off. And, man, I just thought to myself, wow, did you think that she was going to be in this position in her time of her life? And as I left this Wendy's, this is what really hurts, is that I look back and I kid you not, Alan, she was on her hands and knees scraping what appeared to be gum off the floor. Now, I don't want that in my own grandmother, and I don't want that in anyone else that I can't even talk to. These are the kind of things that we see almost every day, and it's sad. It really is. Do you think that she thought that she would have been in that position 30, 40 years ago? No, she thought she'd been enjoying her golden years. So, that's what I'm here for, okay? This is what I'm here. So, we like to go over 7 steps, and this allows us to ensure that, this will prevent you from being such as almost every other senior citizen we see out there, right? So we're going to go over these steps real quickly, and if you have any kind of questions whatsoever, please stop me, but I'm going to buzz through these pretty quick, okay? I always like to inform people just a little bit. Money plus time, plus or minus the rate of return they get on their money, minus inflation and taxes equals wealth. And we'll get back to that a little bit later on, but I want you to kind of think of that, all right? So step number 1 is inspect what you expect, okay? Here, we like to have people to understanding the importance of inspecting their money on a periodic basis, all right? Because you would be surprised by tracking your money that you're actually spending money on something that you never thought that you would be. And if I eliminate this, eliminate that, I'm kind of freeing up new money for cash flow. Okay, it's kind of like, you go to the doctor once a year to do a diagnosis of your body to see what's healthy and what's not, right? You prevent other future diseases. It does the same exact thing. This prevents you from future financial disasters. Number 2 is increasing cash flow. Okay, I like to ask you a question: what is cash flow to you? Yeah, right, exactly. That's where the after you spend the necessities of your bills and your food, etc., and what's left over is your cash flow, right? Where you can do what you want, whether it's built for the future or it's paying for stuff now, like enjoying some fruits of life, some dinner, wine. What we like to do is help out people to do some strategies where we get to increase that, right? Just for instance, an example is, do you get a tax return back? Okay, you do. Okay, what did you get back? All right, and that's great. That's really interesting. See, we had a client sat back with the other day, and I asked him the very question. He said he got back $3,000, and I asked him what was that rate of return that he received on that $3,000 that the government held for over a year. He looked at me and he said, 0. And he goes, that's not right. And I said, hey, well, it all depends what people kind of do with that money. So, but that's also one way that he can increase over $200 a month towards his cash flow. So, number 3 is eliminating debt. Okay, here I like to expose people to a typical family, right? Here they have, mortgage, auto loan, credit card, store, with the interest rates and all combining together. If this family continues this continuing trend of paying the minimum, it would take them 27 years to pay off all their debt, right? Well, if we apply some strategy here through our debt eliminator, which is a great program, we can actually cut that time sometimes as quick as half, right? And then if we cut that time in half, that means we have new cash flow here that we could put into our retirement for the future, right? So it's a really neat program, and it's pretty cool. Number 4 is developing an emergency fund. Okay, do you yourself possess an emergency fund? Okay, that's awesome, right? We understand that things happen in life that we don't see coming, right? We can't foreshadow that, right? And when that transmission goes on your car, and out comes the plastic, huh? But instead, if we have this emergency fund set to the side, we can prevent any kind of mishaps because we're prepared for it, right? And we like to have 4 rules for people to understand when you have an emergency fund, all right? First, we want it to be liquid, right? We want it to be able to access it when we can get it, right? We want it to be safe, number 2. Okay, that what I mean by safe is like, it's pretty good to have your money in the mattress, but what happens if your house burns? The money's gone, right? So, got to be safe. Number 3 is that it's got to get a better interest rate than your checking account. Okay, and what I mean by that is that, what do you get on your checking account? Yeah, close to nothing, right? So why not get a better return on it? Get a little money on it for what it is. And number 4, we want it to be automatic and systematic. Okay, that means is that, have you ever tried to save money in your checking account? It doesn't really work out that way, right? You always kind of dip into it. I kind of want my TV, I kind of want this, I kind of want this laptop, right? But if it's out of sight, it's out of mind, right? So we know we can build up a certain point, and knowing that here's a little bit that goes, and then it's out of sight, out of mind. Systematic and automatic. Okay, number 5 is protect what you have. Okay, here we like to bring an emphasis of life insurance. All right, do you yourself have a family? Okay, you have a couple kids. All right, so we would like to make sure that, in case that something happens to you, not only is it an emotional burden that you're no longer available, but it's also a financial burden as well. It's a struggle for them to get that light bill paid, that mortgage or rent, or just the everyday living. So we like to tell people to make sure they have about 10 times the income they currently make to help out for that lost time. Okay? It's great that you do, and I applaud you for that. It's, you're looking out for your family. Step number 6. This is the big one. Okay? Alan, and if you listen to me, this will change the quality of your life. All right? Step number 6 is the one everyone loves the best. All right? This is the one that speaks about long-term income or long-term savings. All right? Now, there's 2 elements at play here. 2 financial battles you're going to have to win in order to win the money game. And if you don't incorporate these, Alan, got to be strong with you. The chances of you being financially independent won't happen. And if it does, it's way out there. Okay? So let's talk about these 2 financial battles, all right? The first financial battle is